Hello, folks. Welcome to the MegaMets podcast for the Royal Rumble 2024. Not many matches for this card tonight at the Tropicana Field in Tampa/St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's get the matches we know have a predictable outcome out of the way first. Logan Paul defending the U.S. title against Kevin Owens. This is a no-brainer. Paul is retaining. True or false?
True. I'm actually surprised that Paul is turning out to be a good worker.
True, but again, can't stand the guy.
I know you can't stand him, and I can respect that.
From 3. Got it!
Don't worry, I don't mind it.
Sorry. Anyway, and we all know that the Logan Paul match is basically set up for him versus LA Knight, at WrestleMania for that U.S. title.
Yeah.
Speaking of LA Knight, fatal four-way for the Universal title. Roman Reigns defends against the phenomenal AJ Styles. LA Knight, and the returning Apex Predator, Randy Orton. I am going to be blunt. Roman wins, but the question is how much of the usual bullshit outside interference shenanigans from Jimmy and Solo are we going to get?
I have to wonder if this is WWE's decision to keep the championship on Roman Reigns for as long as possible until he can basically, or
until we get that bullshit Rock Roman match, which is the main thing I've been getting pissed about this year and why the men's Rumble is so muddied in terms of its outcome.
Yeah, because no matter who wins the Rumble, they're going to lose.
Unless it's Cody, of course, and they finally pull the fucking trigger, something they should have done last year.
They should have, but for whatever reason they didn't because WWE had no faith in him.
When you had Vince McMahon meddling time and time again to get what he wants,
Vince needs a goddamn foot up his ass.
And thank the good Lord this son of a bitch got busted with a sex trafficking allegation.
It got so bad that Slim Jim pulled their sponsorship with WWE. A sponsorship that had lasted for years.
Yeah, mostly due to the Macho Man.
Yes. But then when they heard Vince left, they came right back.
So you know what, Vince? If it does come to Rock Roman at 40, here's my response. Fuck you and fuck the WWE to death.
It's kind of a reason why I don't give a damn about wrestling nowadays.
And this is the main reason I prefer Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we've got a doubleheader to do on Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Wait. This is a no-brainer again. Roman retains. Right?
Yeah. No, Roman retains.
Again.
No doubt about it.
Again.
Which is what I truthfully hate.
Yeah. This is basically the antithesis of Hulkamania.
Yeah, it is. Vince wanted Roman Reigns to be the next Hulk Hogan. But here's the thing. Roman Reigns is not like The Rock. The Rock went through hell and back to grow as a character. And it paid off. Roman Reigns, it was all rushed.
And while it's been built up pretty well recently, the problem is the milk is running out of the damn cash cow, and Vince couldn't see the forest for the trees last year. Who's to say Trips can't see it this year?
Trips needs to at least see it this year. There is honestly no excuse.
Next up, the Women's Royal Rumble. This one is a little more clear-cut as to who the top dogs to win this are. If it's a Raw woman who's going to win it, it's Becky. If it's a SmackDown, it's Bayley. What's the more interesting setup? Becky wins and she goes after Rhea for the world women's title at WrestleMania, or if Becky win it, which leads to her getting kicked out of Damage Control and then face Io for the SmackDown title at Mania.
This will be interesting to say the least.
Those are my two picks to win, but I don't know which one of them to pick. I'm just hoping Nia Jax doesn't win because 2 words about that bitch. Collateral damage.
Yep.
And no, it's not because of her gender identity, folks. It's just because she causes so much collateral damage when she's in the ring. She's not a safe worker.
Basically, she's a liability.
Mm-hmm.
I figured.
That's in the Grimes. Book it!
Yep.
Knicks back up by 6. Anyway, my pick, I'm going to go out on a limb and give it to Bailey.
I'm giving it to Becky.
Hold on, Gabe needs the link.
Go ahead.
Not Gabe. Here it is, Gabe.
Don't worry, I can wait. I'm in no rush. Besides, much of my day was spent reporting more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney.
That's fair.
I'm trying to get that Gaviner accent. It's a bit difficult because I don't know if my voice could actually pull off a German accent. But I know when I do Ace Attorney 5, I'm going to have a field day with it.
Sorry about that, Gabe.
No, what's up?
Not much. Anyway, you agree with Mega and I about two of the two matches we just went over. Logan Paul and Roman Reigns retained the U.S. and Universal titles respectively, correct?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Who's your pick for the Women's Rumble? I boiled it down to either Bailey or Becky to win this.
I got Becky Lynch. I don't think that, because the way they've been booking Bailey lately is not like they're booking her strong. So, you know, personally, it makes more sense.
That's the way they should have booked her after Survivor Series, like we talked about.
Yeah. So I think Becky makes the most sense, and that's discounting the possibility of Naomi or Sasha Banks possibly returning. So,
well, I could see Naomi coming back. I mean, she just had her last Impact match recently.
Yeah, supposedly she's already
her TNA match. I forgot they changed the name back to the original.
Yeah.
When you consider that the bulk of my wrestling library is old TNA stuff, I'm happy that it's back under the original name. Fuck you, Bruce Pritchard. You know
so you like that Vince Russo? You know, because Vince Russo came up with the TNA name, right?
No, I didn't. I thought that was Jeff Jarrett and Dixie. I thought it was the Jarretts that came up with that.
No, Vince Russo came up with it as a play on words of tits and ass.
Of course, it had to be Vince Russo. God damn it. God.
Okay, I did not know that. But was it Jarrett or Dixie that convinced him to go total nonstop action?
Probably Jarrett.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go Bailey. Jose, you're the split vote. Who you got, Becky or Bailey?
I'm going with Becky.
Okay. Now, for those wondering why I want Bailey and not Becky, let's just say it should stir the pot more than what did get stirred after Survivor Series. She wins the Rumble. Io views her as a threat and realizes that Bailey has seen her as nothing than a lackey. And considering that the Kabuki Warriors got the women's tag titles back, belts are being misused poorly. Should be treated like such fucking hot potatoes. That's in my opinion. They're gonna they're gonna do everything they can to throw Bailey out. Because there's no way Bailey's gonna use the loophole to go to Raw and get the title off Rhea. Rhea would kill her if she did that. Right?
Do we think that there's a possibility of Bailey turning around? When she turns around, the boys pop, you know? She gets the crowd pumping when she turns around. And
you mean ditches Damage Control or gets abused to the point where people sympathize with her that she got kicked out of Damage Control?
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, yeah.
I could see that. But still, so I'm outvoted 2-1. You guys going Becky. I've got Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Main event, the men's rumble. We got at least 3 guys who could win this. Gunther, Cody, Punk. But here's my issue with why I do not want The Rock in this damn match.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Brother.
For context, if The Rock wins this match, 1, it becomes too predictable of an outcome that he'll lose to Roman. True or false?
I'd say true.
Jose?
I'd say true.
2, to me, this would be placating to fan service gone horribly wrong. For context, earlier this month, and you remember when we did this pick for the New Year's show from Noah, right, Jose?
Yeah.
Where I explained that Sancho Takagi, thinking that the GHC Heavyweight Championship match between Keno and Manabu Soya was too weak of a headliner, decided to call up Tony Khan and ask Tony if he could send Kota Ibushi over on a loan, which set up the match between him and Naomichi Marufuji. Do you know what that match got rated on Cage Match?
What is it?
0.88 out of 10.
Yikes.
The match was that bad. It was that slow. It was that plotting. It was that ridiculous. It was over half an hour of time wasted. Where by contrast, the GHC heavyweight title match between Soya and Keno, which was regulated to semi-main, which pissed Keno off beyond belief, was rated 8.7 out of 10 on Cage Match.
Ouch.
Raph, Okada is not showing up tonight. His contract, he has one more match to deal with on February 11th in Osaka against Tanahashi, and then he's leaving New Japan proper.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mets, what are your thoughts on all the dirt sheets are pretty much saying that Okada's WWE bound. What are your thoughts on?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Working with the WWE means it's a trade-off. You're basically pegged to a leash. And we saw how Vince rose and knocked down Nakamura. I'm not sure if Okada would want that. On the other
Vince
hand,
Vince is not even there anymore.
I know, but I'm saying even Trips was basically forced to be a people pleaser to pop in law and have that shit happen to knock.
But when Triple H was in charge of Nakamura, that was an NXT Nakamura, where he was like the most over wrestler they had at the time.
But once he got to main roster, he got reduced to a joke. Yes or no?
Sure, but at least he still won the Rumble. At least Vince gave him an opportunity somewhat, you know. He won the Rumble. He had that match with Styles at Mania, you know. And, of course, after that, yeah, they didn't do him service. But I'd say I trust Triple H because at least when Triple H had Nakamura, he treated him, you know, like a star. He tried to make him the main event. And I have no doubt he tried to do the same with Okada.
Gabe, I get what you're saying. But it boils down to the question, if Nakamura goes to NXT and is shot through the roof and then moves to the main roster, how do you handle him? Do you treat him the same way as Nak, or do you actually let him grab the brass ring?
I mean, if you're paying all that money for him, because I'm sure it costs a lot. Excuse me, it costs a lot of money. I'm like certain that they make him a main eventer. You know, I don't think they just have him be a mid carder. You're paying all this money for a supposed top star in another country.
And getting back to the fan service done wrong thing. By contrast, 2022 to 2023, back half of 22 to be precise, Keiji Muto announced he was retiring due to a hip deformity. Nakamura in October asked Triple H if he could get a crack at Muto at the Noah New Year's show. The catch was, Muto was in his character of the great Muta, and the match was actually pretty good. That's fan service done right. What Takagi did and what I fear Triple H could do with The Rock is fan service gone wrong if he gets entered in this match. And then you have the wrench thrown the fireworks of the Punk Rollins line, the torn meniscus and MCL on Rollins, which means that his world title defense at Mania will get turned into a squash no matter who wins on the Raw side. Yes or no?
What do you think, Mega Man? Mega Man.
Yeah?
No, I was asking, what do you think?
Think about what? I was what is
that? If I mean, that due to the Rollins injury, whoever wins from Raw would basically be getting a squash match at Mania with them beating Rollins for the title as a means of damage control for the injury.
That's not going to be good.
But you agree?
Disagree. It wouldn't be right because that's like killing momentum.
I mean, with the scuttlebutt, but still, this does give someone like Gunther a chance to get what he wants. A World Heavyweight title reign that leads at least to the end of August at Bash at Berlin, where he can headline. Yes or no?
You're kind of right.
Oh. I left my bike keys in the kitchen. I'll be right back. Excuse me a minute.
Go ahead. So, Mega Man, what are your expectations for tonight's Rumble? Who do you think is going to...
expectations are a bit low, especially with the Royal Rumble itself. Like I said, I don't watch wrestling much.
Okay.
Besides, I've cut the cord and I mostly focus on other things. But in regards to the men's Royal Rumble match, I want Cody to win, but on the other hand, they should have just took the shot much earlier. It would have helped.
So you're not like excited about the possibility of The Rock returning?
I know. I was a fan of The Rock, but not so much. Nowadays, not so much.
I mean, there's rumors of even the Hulkster getting in the Rumble. But with how much he's been banged up over the years, they're not going to give him more than 30 seconds in the ring.
That's not happening. I think Hogan is just, trying to get the fans riled up and all that. I think he, if anything, probably for Mania weekend, maybe they do something with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal because Hogan cannot take a bump anymore. He's like, he walks with a cane now. Like, poor guy, he cannot take a bump. I mean, so I don't think he could even sustain going over the top rope. If he's going to be in a match, he has to win it. True. I think that's why the Battle Royal will be...
I mean, it's one of the main reasons he hasn't been in the ring since Bound for Glory in 2011.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pick someone like, say, Hacksaw Jim Duggan to enter it because it's a fan service joke that he was the inaugural Rumble winner, then fine. I could see that happening, right?
Yeah, I could see that happening.
I think Mercedes Moné is going to be in the Women's Rumble.
True. But I was saying with Okada, on the flip side, if he goes to All Elite, he has a little more freedom where he could work several New Japan events. It's what was worked out with Will Ospreay's contract.
That's the thing. We saw they had the last Okada's last match in Japan or something recently.
Last match at Korakuen Hall.
Yeah, and he was like visibly, emotional, which is like, I mean, maybe it's a little bit looking too into it, but if you really think about it, why would he be emotional, for example, if he was going to AEW? Because in AEW, like what you said, you could work dates in New Japan. It's not like you're, leaving. Whereas if you go to WWE, it's a whole new, place you're going.
Working relations between TNA and New Japan.
Also.
Coupled with how badly Okada got treated during his excursion stint in TNA.
Yeah, that was horrid.
I think, how about this, Mets? So, and you too, Mega Man, you could shed light into it if you have any insight.
Sure.
There's been some low key, like mysterious insider accounts, right, that leak a lot of stuff that end up being right. One of them's called Boozer, I think. Another one's Pro Wrestling Scoops, and they've been like really teasing a lot that MJF is a free agent, and it's not a work, and that he could show up in the Rumble.
Not with the injuries he's got.
Not with the injuries. That's not going to help him out much.
All I'm saying is, well, maybe he's not going to be in the Rumble, but maybe he shows up. And like, what do you think about that? If these guys are right,
Not happening. I mean, Triple H has been doing everything with damage control to try to cover up many of these leaks. Some of them legit, some of them garbage. I mean, Sports Illustrated has put out a lot of garbage takes, and they've gone bankrupt.
What's his name? Raphael says would be hyped if Sasha Banks showed up.
It would be, but the problem is too short notice.
The account called the Hulkster's in the chat.
That's not Hulk. It's
Yeah,
another.
I think so. It looks like Hogan. He says I'm going
It's
over
a
tonight.
troll account, Gabe. Remember when I was
Okay.
first part of Tana's Discord and they did this crap?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, hi, Raph.
But let me read it though. He said I'm going over tonight.
Oh, hello guys. Sorry about for the short time, but right now I'm getting to right now I was getting involved with the camera, the mic, to getting prepared to the Royal Rumble. But I think this year is gonna be like very important. But let's be realistic right here. I don't think that Roman Reigns is gonna return all year long, but I think it's gonna happen because right now, since 2022, 2020, I mean, they had all the sense to see Roman Reigns is the head of the table or something like that. But I think between the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, I think Randy Orton is gonna shock them all. But I'm not gonna give it like a spoiler alert, but I'll give it like a Randy Orton as a possible favorite as a to win the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship because everybody thought that Roman was just gonna win because it's the favorite one, but
In the Fatal
ima-
4-Way, it's not the Rumble match.
the Fatal Four Way. But imagine this right here, this right, Randy Orton is could be like the underdog to win the Royal Rumble for a Fatal Four Way match for the Universal Championship. But I don't think that Roman was just gonna happen, but and precisely for about it, this time Randy Orton is gonna win the Fatal Four Way for the Universal Championship as the underdog. And to be honest, right now, I think there's gonna be like a huge surprises. I think Sheamus, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez could be like a surprise lane returns for the Royal Rumble because I got three: Sheamus, Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, Liv
Well-
Morgan, I could see that.
Wasn't she
Good.
arrested recently?
Yeah, but she's already got out. You know,
Yeah, she got it.
she
out
could
for
come back
injury.
anytime now, and I think the Rumble. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect for her to come back. What about this? What about Jade Cargill making her WWE debut in the Rumble?
I could see that, but I didn't. But I think it's too soon to push her.
Way too soon.
I think they could put her in there, and you can have her and Bianca Belair have a stare down because Bianca
Mm.
is she's free right now because Charlotte got injured, and she's gonna miss Mania. So Bianca doesn't have an opponent. I think Jade Cargill is a perfect feud for her.
Yeah, I remember
You-
about
you-
the because she was debuted on September 2023, and then she was moved out to the NXT roster. I can see possibly, but that was just like really too soon because how could imagine because she was on the NXT roster for a few months and then move it out for the Royal Rumble. That's not kind of like a match to get to it.
We'll see. I think it's possible though. The Hulkster in the chat, Hulk Hogan says AJ Lee is coming back and winning the Chicks Rumble, brother.
Okay, hold on a minute. Besides for AJ Lee, I know she's married with CM Punk, but I don't see like the possibility to see AJ Lee coming back to the Royal Rumble. I didn't see that really happening right about that, but I didn't see like it coming up for this one. So not a really clue about it, but I didn't see like it really happening at the Royal Rumble. But if we if we want to see like anything could surprisingly, but
That's not
I don't
good.
think it's gonna
Vince.
happen.
It's not good.
Mets, are you good? What's up?
Randall's being taken to the back in the Nick Heat game. Crashed hard on a layup attempt.
Okay, well, we're talking about AJ Lee coming back and winning the Rumble.
I'm not sure. I mean, even if you could pull the husband-wife trope win the Rumble, is there really much for AJ to do? I'm not sure. But in any case, let's focus on who we want to win the men's Rumble.
I think there is. I think AJ could have a lot of dream because remember AJ left like as soon like right before the women's revolution started. So there's a lot of dream matches that she could have that she hasn't had, like Becky, Bianca, Charlotte when she eventually comes back, Rhea Ripley. You know, there's plenty of women that she hasn't faced that she could go up against. You know, like Liv Morgan.
But still, men's Rumble is the focus now. Who do we got winning?
Bailey. That's another one. Go ahead, no.
Who do we got winning this for the men? I boiled it down to Cody, Gunther, and Punk.
Those are definitely the favorites.
If you're looking at those three, the rhythm, they all have valid claims. On the one hand, Punk is on one side of the coin, on one side of the equation. Punk basically has beef with Rollins for one reason or another. I don't know what that reason was, but it has to go back to before Punk left shortly before Punk left the company.
The Hulkster's got Dwayne Johnson winning, he says.
Fuck that. Rock winning the Rumble is ultimate worst case scenario. Fans would boo it out of the damn building.
No, they wouldn't. I think the fans would pop. These are the same fans.
But they would know the outcome of the match. That's why I say this is fan service gone wrong if they go that route.
The fans will pop just because it's The Rock, like.
But
he
again,
really could do no wrong.
Fan service gone wrong, Gabe. Fan service gone horribly wrong. With Cody, he's never gotten the chance to finish the story because Vince basically wormed his way into Trips' ear to say, no, you don't pull the trigger at WrestleMania this year.
He only does it because Vince has no faith in anyone that isn't of his creation.
That's the point. And now that Vince is gone, and may God have mercy on his soul, that I can finally say that Dr. Blackheart of Wrestling is finally out of this damn company.
No mercy. He does not deserve mercy. He deserves despair, suffering, and all that jazz.
Yeah, probably for the men's Royal Rumble, I think they're going to repeat
and on the other side, you've got Gunther. With the feud they've been setting up between him and Rollins now with that torn MCL meniscus combo, you could give Gunther an out to get a squash title match and give him his goal of headlining in Bash at Berlin at the end of August.
Raph, what were you going to say, though? You were saying something, but then...
Yeah, I would say there's something about because besides for Gunther, doing all these few months of retaining the Intercontinental Champion, he's right, Mitch. He's got a striking goal for the Royal Rumble and then heading out to WrestleMania. I can see possibly Gunther winning the WrestleMania, but they had to be careful about those favorites to win the match of Royal Rumble, which is between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. But I think the underdog is going to happen for the Royal Rumble match for the men's. It's going to happen with Gunther. I think he earns the opportunity to make it to the Royal Rumble winner, heading out to the WrestleMania, hitting striking goal because after all these months of the game, involved for the Intercontinental Championship, this is the perfect step to the next level for this Gunther's wrestling career at the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you consider that tomorrow Gunther will have matched or eclipsed The Miz for second longest IC title run of all time. And
Gunther, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Gunther already has the longest of all time, I thought.
I meant longest cumulative.
Oh, by the way, Hulkster in the chat said that Dwayne has star power, brother. These jobbers are not on his level.
To this troll, that star power is diminished. People would sniff out fan service gone wrong in a heartbeat. Rock will not get involved. Throwing now he's in a corporate position, in his time in the ring is ruthlessly limited to the point where it's up.
Dwayne's star power is not diminished. Dwayne is still as big, if not bigger, than the entire company. Dwayne is one of the most famous people in the world. You cannot say his star power is diminished.
In any case, my pick for the Rumble is going to be Punk.
I agree, actually. I
Jose?
think... Oh, go ahead, Jose. My bad.
Mega, who's your pick? MegaMets.
Yeah.
What's your
Blood
pick?
said it's his day off.
What is it? Sorry.
For the men's Rumble, who do you pick?
I picked Cody Rhodes. With Vince gone, the time to pull the trigger has come.
I could see that. But then again, I think Raph, you said you were going Gunther?
Although if Gunther won, it might be interesting.
Yeah,
Because
I would say
Gunther actually
Gunther
had
for
a
the
pretty
win.
good run.
I would say Gunther for the win.
Okay,
As Intercontinental Champion, he had a very good run.
Okay, so that's 2 votes Punk, 1 vote Cody, 1 vote Gunther. Gabe and I went Punk, Mega goes Cody, and Raph goes Gunther.
We got to talk about this, though. That's a good pick. Those are all good picks, by the way. Those all make sense. What we got to talk about, this Rumble is, I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of people looking forward to it because it's like an old school Rumble where we have so many possible people that can win it. Like obviously we mentioned Cody, Punk, and Gunther, but you also have like low key picks like Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley
Or
and
the Usos, Jimmy and
and
Jay.
yeah,
You know,
Jay Uso
and
and
picking each
who-
other out, and then it sets up a South Philly street fight between the two at WrestleMania.
yeah, even Sami Zayn like is a name that I feel like no one's really talking
He's
about.
on the shelf.
No, he's not injured. He just took time off to spend time, I think, with family or whatever. He just needed a break. But he could come back.
Yeah.
That was a kayfabe
Solo-
injury. They just wrote him off.
Or Solo could win it, but then again, he's just in there as a hired gun.
Now that would be terrible. That you want to talk about a winner because you're saying that's the Rock we get. You want to talk about a winner that would get booed, like for go away heat. Like we don't want this. That would be Solo. And I'm not even trying to shit on Solo. I think he's fine, but no, now's not the time for that. Too early to push him.
That's true.
So yeah, like who else I was gonna say? Oh yeah, Sami Zayn. Yeah, it's perfect. This is what the Rumble has, and there's always that added, possible surprise. Like Jacob Fatu could make his debut. It's still speculation. It's still speculation that MJF could debut. We don't even know. There's and not to mention the huge nostalgia surprises like The Rock and Hogan. Like it's just really exciting. It's really exciting. It's what the Rumble should be like.
I mean, Gabe, I could see the Jacob Fatu thing, but here's the problem. He's got a match next. He's contractually obligated to have a match next week in MLW against Yuji Nagata.
I mean, the E could work something out. Triple H is a mastermind.
I know, man. Hunter has studied the business.
Booker's trying to push it.
Yeah, Hunter's a student of the game, right, Mega Man?
Yeah, he is a student of the game. He went from being a wrestler to being a producer and planner. Yeah, he's a student, and he studied.
And he was the only one of the clique that kept himself clean.
Yeah, even though he had to take a lot of shit. But I guess it worked out for the better.
I think he learned that from Vince.
You're kind of right.
Seriously, the clique party animals, but Trips was the only one who abstained from booze.
Living a healthy lifestyle is better.
Hulkster's in the chat saying Gunther can't talk, brother. Saying Gunther's down the mic.
Well, that's the thing. Gunther prefers to let his actions do the talking. Sometimes there are people that will go for the wrestler who doesn't have to talk, but lets his work do the talking for him.
Storm Striker says Dwayne Johnson is now on the board of TKO. Yeah, we know that. Him being in the Rumble would be shocking, but yeah, probably bad for business as well. Disagree. My pick is R-Truth. Okay, yeah. How do we get this guy out of here?
I would see
that. No, don't get him out of here. No.
As a joke, that's funny.
Making their own guesses.
I could see Truth winning as a joke, but then again, neither Vince or Tripp see him as nothing.
I gotta tell you, when R-Truth gave us like a comedy gold, it never disappointed me because he has a comedy ticking for everything.
Only one I know who could deliver comedy gold is Kofi Kingston, but no.
Yeah, I know, but I heard about that.
But I mean, with what happened with Truth and the Judgment Day angle, I am busting a gut. It's a shame I will never be able to watch Raw without a Netflix account next season.
But don't you have? I thought you said you had Netflix, man.
No, I have Paramount Plus, Tubi, and Pluto.
How come you don't get Netflix?
Well, my mom had Netflix for a bit because she was backdooring it off a person who was staying.
Then the password sharing came about because Netflix were losing subscribers, and then they had to make a BS excuse.
Yeah, that.
Well, you could still at least watch the highlights on YouTube and such. I'm sure you do that. What's his name? Raphael says my man LA Knight has the most charisma right now.
That may be true, but let's face it, that's not going to get him anything other than the U.S. title when he faces Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
I'm fine with that. It doesn't. It could be a slow build. Austin didn't win the world title right away. He had to get the IC title first.
True. Actually, it was the tag titles first, then the Intercontinental.
Well, I'm talking individual.
I know. Well, I think we should wrap this up. Leave a comment, sub to all these content creators and myself, smash a like. This is the MegaMets podcast with Gabe Sports and Rap. Yep, El Capitan Rap saying goodbye and good night. Bang.
Mets.
Well, I have a good one.
Cut. Later, guys.